I have been trying to make this video for a couple weeks now. I wanted to get it out before Christmas, but that didn't happen. But yes, lots of updates today that I want to share about. I'm sharing about life, update of like infertility updates, stay-at-home mom, YouTube, what that's going to look like this next year, all of it. So we got a lot to talk about, so I'm just going to get right into the video. I made a video back in October and I gave kind of like a whole like 30-minute saga spiel of kind of how life has been the past few years. And in it I talked about how like we went through a whole really rough season in life, and then we had a miscarriage, and we have on and off for 2 years, not like consistently, but on and off for like 2 years, been trying to get pregnant, and just that's not happening. And then finally me wanting to quit my job pretty much since my youngest was born, and she's 6 now. So wanting to quit my job for like 6 years, but just not able to, and just like starting YouTube and kind of balancing mom, wife, homeschool, work, YouTube, all of it, and how it was just too much. I was getting burned out or drained, getting depressed, and how something had to give. And prayerfully, thankfully, finally, I was able to quit my job back in October. Don't mind my room, by the way. I see my vacuum and my steamer in the background because there's no room in our house for it, so it goes behind our door, which is usually open. Anyway, so I was feeling prompted to share about my infertility, my struggle to get pregnant, especially after a miscarriage, particularly in my 30s. And I've never had a trouble getting pregnant before. I always got pregnant in my 20s. I was when I got pregnant with all 3 of my kids, and never had any issues with that. And so this was like really hard to deal with. But I just felt led to share it, not just keep that to myself. I don't share every single like personal thing that I go through, but I felt like that was something I just felt led to share. And so many of you related, either were going through the same thing, had gone through the same thing, just offering words of love, support, encouragement, and it's just meant a great deal to me. I still pray for you. Like there's some of you I'm even praying for by name. Just your stories were so touching to me. I wanted to share it, but I also was like, let me just share, like if I ever get pregnant, let me just share, hey, I'm pregnant, but this was my story, and this is what happened, and it took a long time and all that. But I just felt like God saying like, you don't know if you're ever going to get pregnant, so just share it now. Just share your story now. So I quit my job mid-October. I posted that video like maybe a week later, I can't remember. Like 2 weeks later actually. And I posted it on a Tuesday, but like 2 days before I posted that video, I got signs of like what I thought was gonna be my period starting, and just kind of went through my monthly like mourning phase, so to speak. Just kind of like grieved and all of that. And I was like, oh my gosh, here comes another month. You know, I was kind of at that point starting to get used to it, as sad as that sounds, like kind of get used to the disappointment. You're still hoping for the best, but you're still kind of you're bracing yourself to expect, okay, here we go again. And so I already grieved for that month, posted my video Tuesday. Friday, I took a test. Here goes nothing. I'm really nervous, but I just need to figure, like, I know it's going to be negative, but it's driving me crazy because it's a few days late, and I'm just in my own head, and I just need to know, even though I feel like it's negative, I'm just probably later. My heart is like pounding. I don't want to do this. Okay. I already know what it is, and I like don't want to see the answer, because then I just know it's like, oh, another month.
but I just need to know. Like, I don't want to just be sitting there waiting and waiting. Okay. I can't do this. Oh my gosh. That can't be. I feel like that can't be. Like, can't be. Oh my gosh. I feel like I can't believe that. Like, there's no, like, this can't be. Like, I feel like this is like a mistake. Oh my gosh. I don't even like want to get myself excited because I just feel like this is not like real. I waited for this moment for 2 years. The last time I got a positive pregnancy test, though, I ended up having a miscarriage. So I honestly thought that if I ever saw a positive one again, I would just feel like so relieved. And part of me, I mean, a huge part of me is, but then the huge next part of me is like, oh no, like what happens if this doesn't happen again, you know? Like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what I'm feeling right now. I think I'm like trying to process it all.
Needless to say, I was shocked. I was just taken back. My emotions didn't match up to what I thought it was going to be. I really thought I was going to be like just overjoyed and like, oh my God, you know, like the real, like truly excitement, the jumping up and down and like, yes, but like automatically right away, my brain was like, this isn't real. Or like just setting myself up for like, okay, it's going to be another loss, you know. The next few weeks after that, I just had extreme anxiety, extreme fear. I couldn't get happy or excited about my pregnancy. I was just I had a lot of just fear and so I reached out to people who I was constantly talking to, people like who either had been in my situation or just people I'm very close with who I can, you know, rely on, and got support that way. I prayed every time, like, please take this anxiety away. And, you know, it's so easy to like give into the fear and just like let your mind kind of wander and be like, oh my goodness, like, you know, just let it go off, right? And so it's harder to like, no, I'm going to pray and I'm going to seek God and ask, like, but the more you do that, the easier it becomes and the more secondhand it becomes. And so I just, you know, praying for peace, praying just for all different aspects of it. The anxiety of getting pregnant after you've had a miscarriage and you know, added on to like several years of trying and not being able to get pregnant, and then you finally can. I was looking it up. It's called like psychological cushioning or emotional cushioning or something like that. And it's something that a lot of pregnant women go through who have had that before. And you're kind of just, you can't let yourself get attached. Your brain just kind of puts up a block. I'm about 10 and a half weeks along. I'm about to head out to my ultrasound. So we're going to hear the heartbeat for the first time. But it's honestly been a really, really, this whole time since I found out, it's been kind of bittersweet, anxiety inducing and all that. This weekend I was really like, as the appointment was coming closer and closer, I kept getting more and more anxious and fearful. And this weekend it was just like, it was really rough. So I reached out to people for support. My one friend who's been in this situation multiple times, was really good, really helpful, really encouraging. Prayed for peace, did Bible verses, quoted scripture, but she also gave me this one, basically like a phrase to kind of cling to, which is, I've been saying, like, I'm still pregnant and this baby is still alive as far as I'm concerned, unless I'm told otherwise. And just saying something like positive, that same phrase over and over, has been really helpful too. So we're gonna see. I'm nervous, but I'm trying to like distract myself and just pray for peace when I feel overwhelmed. So we'll see how it goes. I'm excited to share this, but I also feel bad because I know there's a lot of women out there watching this who can relate and like maybe still be in that situation that you're still waiting on your answer. I feel bad that why me? Why do I get to experience this? And other women who are going through similar situations than me, they're still waiting. They're still getting that no every time. And so I feel bad about that. That's something that I'm praying on as well. But I am still praying for women out there doing that. And maybe that seems naive to do that, like pray for all the women like going through this, but I don't know. It's a really, really, really difficult emotional roller coaster. Anyway, so that's kind of what's been going on and how I dealt with the first trimester. And so sure enough, I got the ultrasound. I am here for my first official OB appointment. I'm about 12 weeks along and just feeling so much relief, like just seeing the ultrasound, seeing the heartbeat, like literally seeing the heart fluttering and its little legs kicking. Like I don't remember at 9-10 weeks ever seeing any of my other kids like moving that much. And so just seeing that was so encouraging to my soul and spirit, and it just has helped me immensely. So it's taken down my anxiety levels so much. And so we're gonna go into my OB appointment now just to do the heartbeat and everything like that, to do our first official appointment. Just finished up. We were able to hear a heartbeat, which I'm so happy for, because she was like usually at 12 weeks it's like hit or miss, but a nice strong heartbeat of 150, and everything else is going well so far. So I'm gonna have another ultrasound in just like a few weeks or so. Yeah, so far so good. She was really so sweet. She was new, and so she was really sweet, really happy for me. She's like, how long did it take you to get pregnant? And I was like 2 years. She's like, oh my gosh, this one is meant to be. This one is supposed to be here. And anyway, it was just sweet to hear that. That just was so reassuring. And I just was like, oh my goodness, once I get past this first trimester, like hopefully I'll feel better. And I really have been. I've really been so much more peace at ease. And it's like, okay, seeing it, it's real. It's really real. Like my stomach is growing. I'm feeling awful. I hear the heartbeat. I see movement. I got the ultrasound pictures. Like this is real. And so I am finally able to kind of just like relax into it and sort of enjoy it now. I took all this time, but I'm finally getting there. And so that is something I'm so grateful for. Since staying home, I had these grand ideas of I'm gonna get on a daily routine and I'll do this and have all this cleaning done and laundry and all of that. And I kind of started to get on that routine. But again, like just a few weeks after I found out I was pregnant, and I am like super, you know how it is, first trimester, super exhausted, nausea, all that fun stuff. So that kind of threw all the routines out the window. And also on top of that, my kids have been getting so sick this past year. It's been like a full year that they've like gotten sick on and off, but especially like the past fall and winter. And so like even them with their chores and helping out, like that's kind of fallen to the wayside. So I feel like my house has gotten, it's just a mess. So And then on top of that, we have, we're doing I mentioned back in August, we're doing a kitchen renovation because there was like a small fire. And so that's just been, we still haven't started that yet. Oh, they're going to start it in beginning of January, so in about a week or so. It's just taken a long time, like with the logistics of it all, contractor, getting a new contractor, going back and forth with insurance, and just getting everything sorted out of, you know, all the details and all that. So that's going to be fun, having construction happening not only in our kitchen, but our family room as well. So all of our contents of our kitchen are going to be completely out of the kitchen for like several weeks to maybe like 2 months, and probably put it into our family room. And then they're gonna take out all the contents of our family room to do that, to replace the drywall and all that. So it'll be a fun winter. I don't know about you, but I am predisposed to like winter blues for sure. Like I literally have no motivation. And so that's gonna be fun to have like, you know, major house renovations going on during the winter. But I'm not complaining, like truly, I know it sounds like a complaint, but I am just so grateful that it's finally happening and that it's, you know, the process is going along. So that has kind of been what's going on as far as like house projects. That's going to happen all winter. And I'm just kind of bracing myself. I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to like go in with a positive outlook, but I am not the type of person, and I'm sure most people aren't, where it's like they function well in chaos, especially something huge like a renovation while you're living in the house. And so I'm just trying to go in with like a positive attitude, but we'll see how that goes as well. And not that like my house has to be perfect by any stretch, like it's never perfect. There's always something that needs to be cleaned or put away or vacuumed or swept or whatever. You know, you have 3 dogs or 2 dogs, a cat, and 3 kids. Like there's no such thing as perfect. And we're here all the time homeschooling. So, but I do prefer like tidiness and orderliness. So I think kind of the combination of being here all the time and then my house being a mess and like just literally being too exhausted and too tired and too sick to like even get off the couch some days has kind of really made me, has kind of like really demotivated me, I guess, on top of adding winter to it. So I've been really just like lacking in motivation because of all of those elements put together. And I think that that's kind of like, but I know, like I tell myself, I won't always feel like this. I will get energy back. I will get my routine back and our structure back. It's just a season. And so it can be hard though when you feel like, oh, I'll never feel good again. I'll always be tired. It's not true, especially if you're a mom of little ones, babies, you're pregnant, yours are still little and they still need you. Like I promise you won't be tired all the time. It does get better. And I know you've heard that and you're like, oh, of course, what? But it really will. And you won't be tired all the time. You will get your energy back. You will get sanity. They'll get older. They'll be able to help clean up and stuff like that. So anyway, that's just kind of where I've been as far as like our house, our routine, structure with like, or not structure, but like updates with our renovations that's going to be happening, and just kind of like my overall lack of motivation and just kind of in a funk of not wanting to do anything really. Like I have little pockets of motivation and I try to capitalize on that, but other than that, I am just like laying on the couch, snuggling with my kids and just trying to like embrace that and just let that go. So let's talk about YouTube / not working anymore and all that stuff. So I mentioned, again, this is like an update to my update from the fall. So I mentioned that I obviously was going to be quitting my job. I always worked part-time since my oldest was like 6 weeks old. I worked full-time a little bit here and there, but most of the time part-time, but had been praying about staying home year after year. I was like, okay, it's going to be this year, but it just never was able to happen. And, I listened to I didn't listen to, but like I heard all that, well, just go down to one car and that'll take care of it. It's like, sometimes it's just not that easy. Like, if it was only a matter of getting rid of a car that costs us like $200 a month, yes, sure, I'll stay home, like we'll figure out that. But when it's like significant, there's no amount of like eating rice and beans for every meal is going to make, that's not, that it's sometimes like you just have to do what you got to do. And so there's living on faith and like taking a step out on faith, and then there's just being foolish, and there's a line between the two. And so to quit my job before then would have been just so foolish, like we would not be able to live. So at this point, it was like, this past fall is finally when it was like, okay, it's a step of faith. Like, it's not foolish, but it's definitely a step. Like, have to be sacrifices made, but it's realistic. And so it's been going really well so far. Like, everything has always been taken care of. We just had Christmas. I was like, oh my gosh, I just quit my job like right before, like 2 months before Christmas. Like, how are we going to afford Christmas presents? And like, just things have worked out, and everything has been provided for and taken care of. God has just worked and worked. And so it's really like reassuring, like to know that we did make the right step and did make the right decision. And I just have so much peace. Like, yes, it's been hard because I've been like so sick the past few months, which it's a good sick. Like, I've never been so happy to feel sick in my life. But on the other hand, I'm just like so thankful that I get to be home every day with my kids and to be here and like be the caregiver, and even working part-time, like I still felt divided. So I'm so happy to be home. So for us, it was worth it. It was worth it to make that sacrifice and take that leap of faith and take the next step and just go out in obedience, even though, again, maybe not all of our bills are going to be covered for every month, but just to see how it's so far been working out and how God has provided and shown like little steps here and there. And so, if that's something that you are considering or dealing with or contemplating, I just want to encourage you, like, don't be foolish, but if it's something that you feel like, okay, we can figure this out, I just encourage you to take that step of faith. If you have peace, if you don't have peace, don't do it. But if you do, take that step and see where it leads you. But with that, I did mention in my previous video that I was going to start taking the money that I was making from YouTube, which normally we just put into savings and didn't really count that, to kind of put that to help. Now, again, it's not a lot of money by any stretch. It's not even coming close to covering my part-time job that I made or that I had. And so, but it helps. And so God provides. And so I was kind of putting pressure on myself, like, okay, Lauren, you have to keep up with YouTube just because you have to make sure. Hold on, Pippi, get down. So anyway, I was putting pressure on myself to like, okay, well, you have to keep up with this now, because now you have to make sure you are putting out your videos and all of that, and keeping up with everything, because now you're relying on YouTube, you're relying on that. So I was going to get back to like my normal upload schedule of 2 videos per week. That was the plan starting in November and going forward. But, I have been like so sick, and I've never been so happy to be sick in my life. But there was just days that like I couldn't even get off the couch, honestly. And so the filming was like the least of my concerns. And so I haven't missed like a whole lot of videos, but there have been weeks where it's just like uploading 1 video per week, and that's what it has to be. And so, going forward in the new year, I'm thinking like, what should I do? Kind of praying about it and like asking for direction in decisions and things like that. And just wondering like, what should I do? I still love to do like, curriculum reviews and giving curriculum updates, like about what we're using and what's working for us, and side-by-side comparisons, and even day in the life videos where like I share our days. And I do love doing that, but I was starting to, and I still am, honestly, starting to kind of lose my spark and lose my joy for that. I used to be like really excited to film and all of that, and now it's kind of like, ugh. And I don't know if like my brain just kind of needs a break. And it's like, now that I'm finally resting, like it's like coming to a screeching halt, like my body, brain, everything, or pregnancy, or just a little bit of both. But I'm just feeling kind of like, oh, I don't know. And I've seen some other people on YouTube and Instagram kind of feel the same way. So maybe it isn't just me. I don't know what it is. But I just know for myself, it's not the same as it was. And so what is that going to look like in the new year? I'm not sure. That is something I'm still trying to figure out, seeking direction and guidance on, and praying for wisdom and peace for that. So that is something I'm still figuring out. But I just don't want this to become something that I like dread, or is a burden, or is something that I just feel like, okay, here's a job. I don't want to look at it like that. I want to look at it as something fun and exciting. And I do have a few videos coming out beginning of January that I really truly am excited to film and do. Like I really love, I'm going to give like curriculum updates and things like that. So I am excited to do that. But sometimes I don't know. So I might take breaks longer than a week. Might take a few months. I don't know, or I might not do any of that, and I just might do business as usual. I'm just kind of taking it one step at a time and seeing. I don't at this point feel like, okay, I'm done completely and see you later. It's been fun. I don't feel like that, but I am just like thinking and having something inside of me that's like, what needs to be different and what needs to change, because I don't want to like burn myself out and make this be something that is a burden, because this is not what I started this YouTube channel for. I did it to connect with fellow homeschool moms and to kind of just share our homeschool journey and share what works for us and what curriculums and all that. And I have loved doing it. And so I don't want to give that up just yet, but I just am being open-handed with it, and just yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at right now. As far as I have a great news as far as being pregnant. I am so excited. I just want to thank you for being here. I do love giving these updates that are a little bit more personal. I love sharing and connecting on more than just like, here, look at this curriculum. I do love doing that too, but I just love sharing like our journey and hearing, from you and your stories. Like they really, really do touch me and impact me as well. And it's hard to like have a whole conversation on YouTube comments, but I really do like appreciate your feedback, and like not feedback, but like you like just the interaction and communication and just supporting each other and encouraging each other and lifting each other up. And just maybe you need to hear like that one person say you're not alone, and maybe not even like on person, but like in camera or over a comment. It's nice to hear like you're not alone. And it's just so sweet to have that community and that interaction. And so thank you so much for being here. Truly, I do appreciate it. You take care. Have a very good New Year's, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.